So today we're going to be discussing 21 lessons learned from the book Atomic Habits, written by James Clear. Now, if you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it. I can confidently say it is one of the best books that I have personally ever read in my entire life. It is mindset shifting, it's life changing, and it is just a phenomenal read. So I just really want to push it to everybody. Please go check it out. But if you don't have the time, that's why we're here today, to kind of go over some different lessons that this book has in store for everyone. If you don't know me, hello babes, welcome. My name is Courtney, and I am a high school software engineer that has perfected my methods of productivity, and I've done that by reading different books and trying different methods for my life, which is what this channel is all about, sharing what I've learned with the masses. So welcome to the family. Let's get started. Now, I have these different lessons from the book because personally when I like to read books, I kind of like to jot down different notes to take for me to review throughout the year so I can remind myself different steps to implement in my life. So that's kind of what I'm going off of. These are just my notes from the book. The first lesson I have is get 1% better every single day. Now, this is a phenomenal piece from this book because essentially it is saying that do not be the New Year's people that want to start their year off with 30 new habits that they want to implement in their life on Monday morning. That is not a long-term method for success, and it will ultimately lead to burnout for a majority of people. But by slowly, gradually getting better, slowly adding new habits into your life, and slowly getting better, 1% better every single day, you are going to exponentially improve your output by the end of the year. Actually, when you go into the math of it all, if you get 1% better every single day, you end up 27 times better by the end of the year. Okay, the next habit I have is there are 4 laws of behavior change that are discussed in the book. These laws are make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. These are the things that are necessary for you to implement habits in your life and then also for you to remove habits from your life. You're gonna use these laws to make good habits in your life. Now, I've personally done this in my life when I wanted to start reading every single night. That is a goal that I've always had for myself, so this is how I implemented it. 1, make it obvious. Every night after I brush my teeth, wash my face, and do my nightly hygiene, I have my book out and ready, making it obvious for me, oh, I gotta read. Number 2, make it attractive. I make sure that there is no distractions nearby because I have to make myself want to do it. So you want to make it attractive. I have my book out, ready, lo-fi music ready to play in the background. This is my system for making reading attractive to me every single night. Number 3, make it easy. Kind of like I said earlier, I have the book out and ready. I don't have to go to my bookshelf and grab it every single night. It's right there on my nightstand, right there on my bed for me to read every single night. And then number 4, make it satisfying. I love having a zen, calm environment when I like to read every single night. So like I kind of said earlier, play my lo-fi music, play my classical music in the background. I have my room nice and ambient lighting in the room and no distractions. Nobody's around me. Close the doors. Let me just sit and read. So this is my satisfying time for me to do this habit. Next lesson I have is a breaking bad habits. Now, these 4 laws discussed in lesson number 1 can be flipped on the flip side for breaking bad habits. This can be making it disappear, making it unattractive, make it very difficult to do, and then make it unsatisfying. I'm not going to really give a specific example for this. I kind of feel like you can just kind of picture how you're going to use this in your life. Overall, what I'm saying is that these 4 laws are extremely helpful for making and breaking habits in your life. The next lesson I have is habit stacking. Now, this is where you have previously made habits already created, and then you want to add habits on top of that. Going back to my reading a book habit, after brushing my teeth, washing my face, that's already a habit in my life. I stack the reading habit right on top of that because it's one habit right after another. Habit stacking is a phenomenal way for you to add new habits into your life because it just kind of already builds off the routine that you already have established. The next lesson I have is mastery requires patience. Now, this is really important because when you really want to master something and you really want to become such a high level of something, it requires time and it therefore requires patience. But the concept of delayed gratification kind of comes from this, where you need to recognize, wow, okay, I need to do a lot more work up front to be gratified and enjoy the life in the end. By developing your patience, you are really able to improve your mastery of whatever skill you want to improve, whatever habit you want to implement into your life. The next lesson I have, I'm actually just going to read it straight off my notes here because it's more of a definition of the title of the book and how it really does matter, atomic habits versus normal habits. Let me go into it. Atomic habits are building blocks for remarkable results. Now, that really stuck with me because it really shows that it's not the big habits that make the big differences. It's the small habits that build up the integrity of your habit system that you set for yourself. yourself. The next thing I have is habits are the atoms of our lives. You know that atoms build up the different structures. So you having different habits, specifically, these are the things that really set you up for success or failure down the road. And the final thing here is atomic habits are a regular practice or routine that is not only small and easy to do, but it's also the source of incredible power, a component of the system of compound growth. Essentially, this kind of goes back all together in a perfect quote sandwich from the book. It essentially is saying that these small habits are what's really going to make the largest shifts in your life. So by really going down and looking at what are your habits, what's changing your life for the better, what's making it worse, by recognizing these small habits that you have set for your life, this is what's really going to change your life for the better. The next lesson that I have from this book is that if you want better results, don't focus on the goals, but instead focus on your systems. Now, this method is used by a plethora of successful people when it comes for them implementing their habits, which I kind of talk more about in this video that I'll link up there, where I kind of go into specific habits that successful people use in their life. But for focusing specifically more on habit implementation, essentially, you just shouldn't be focusing on more of the habit or the goal in mind. You should be focusing on what you are doing to achieve said goal. For instance, if you want to lose 100 pounds, don't just say, I want to lose 100 pounds, that is the goal. You should instead focus on, okay, I'm going to, one, watch my diet, I'm going to hit a certain caloric goal every single day, and two, I'm going to go to the gym or work out or get some form of physical exercise in every single day. And these systems are what's really going to help you achieve that goal instead of you just having that goal. The next lesson I have, if you want to achieve the best version of yourself, you must continually edit and alter and upgrade yourself for you to expand your identity. Now, what does this mean? Now, essentially, this means you are never perfect. You are never right. You never know exactly what you need to do. Always be open-minded, always be changing, and always be ready to make the change in whatever goal you have. Kind of going back to the weight loss goal, if you really want to lose 100 pounds and you're just going to the gym, you're likely not going to lose that 100 pounds. But by you staying open-minded and listening to other people's advice, you can learn, oh wow, okay, I need to change my diet as well for me to really lose these 100 pounds. So stay open-minded and stay listening and try to grow your mindset, because this can really help you expedite the process of whatever goal you have set for yourself, whatever vision you have for your life. Because trust me, this lesson has proven so many times to be right in my life, and I only know how much it's going to change your life. Before we keep going, be sure to like and subscribe down below. The next lesson I have is habit trackers and other forms of visual tracking can be extremely beneficial for you achieving your goals that you set for yourself. They can improve your progress exponentially, because trust me, having something visually where you can see, wow, I have made so much progress, I've done this so much, it only makes you feel better. I do this personally for my life with my Apple Watch. I have set the goal for myself to close all 3 of my Apple Watch rings every single day. And it sounds crazy because like every day by day, it seems very like, meh, okay, I closed my rings, great job. But then when I look back and I scroll, I see I've completed months on months of just straight circles completed, which means I've hit my stand goal, my exercise goal, and my caloric goal for the day. So those are just some things that I personally really like to do to track my health, and I really want to push that to y'all as well. Just, use these visual trackers to make sure you are staying on top of your habits, because it really can help you recognize how far you've come from where you began. The next lesson I have is using something called the implementation intention formula. Now, when you write down your habits, this is a great formula for you to use to implement said habits in your life. The formula is I will behavior at time in location. So for me personally, this is I will read a chapter of my book at 9:15 p.m. in my bedroom. So that's kind of how I have my thing set up for my specific goal of reading a chapter of my book every single night. But you can do this, of course, for a plethora of different habits that you want to implement in your life. The next thing that I have is also a formula from the book. This formula specifically ties back to the other lesson I talked about, which is habit stacking. And this formula is after current habit, I will new habit. So going back to the original book reading chapter habit, I will read a chapter of my book after I finish doing all my nighttime hygiene routine. And that's kind of how I did my habit. That's how I stacked my habit. And that's how I implemented that into my life. And I just really want to push you Do this for yourself as well, because trust me, when you stack your habits on top of themselves, it is a whole nother world. It will become a part of your routine where you don't even think about it anymore. The next lesson I have is that the most satisfying feeling you will ever feel is the feeling of making progress. So with your habits, keep moving forward, keep trying, because trust me, when you start building and when you start making improvements, nothing is more satisfying than the feeling of progress in whatever habit, whatever goal you have set for yourself. The next lesson, I talk about this all the time in my different habit videos, but never miss twice in your new habit routine. Now, it is totally human for you to miss once, because life happens, things happen. You can feel sick, work might happen, people might show up, you never know. So because of that, it is okay for you to miss a day of your habit. That being said, do not miss 2 times in a row, because when you do start missing more than once, it can lead you to a burnout spiral, which can put you right back to square one, if not worse in some scenarios. So when you miss one day, it is totally fine, but get back to your habits as quickly as possible. The next lesson that I have is one of the most efficient ways for you to lose a bad habit is to remove the cue altogether. Now, I didn't really go into the whole cue response situation, but essentially the cue is something that triggers your habits. So specifically talking about bad habits, when you want to remove bad habits from your life, when you want to get bad habits out of your life, you need to get the cue out of your life. For instance, if you like to doom scroll on social media for hours on end, every single time you plop on the couch when you get home, remove the cue. Don't plop on the couch. When you get home, go sit in a chair instead and do something else with your time. Ultimately, by removing the cue, by removing the thing that really triggers you to do that habit, you're able to step away from it and separate yourself from this bad habit that is putting you in bad situations. Okay, so the next lesson that I have from this book is recognize the Goldilocks rule. Now, the Goldilocks rule essentially is saying that you feel the peak motivation for achieving your different goals when you are right on the edge of your capabilities. Now, this means not that you're trying to burn yourself out, not that you are overextending yourself, but it's more saying when you are adding small levels of things into your life, it really adds more motivation and adds more fuel to the fire of you achieving your goals that you set for yourself. By you implementing systems in your life, new systems that aren't going to overextend your abilities or not going to burn you out, it really is the perfect zone for you to achieve peak greatness, because you aren't burning out and you're also not staying in the same spot that you already were in. You are only moving forward, not too fast, not too slow, just right. Next lesson really stuck out to me, and it is the greatest threat to success is not failure, it's boredom. Now, if that ain't the truth, I don't know what is, because success really requires you to just be bored. Honestly, the really successful people in my eyes are just kind of crazy, because you have to be bored and just accept that as a part of your life for you to really achieve greatness. Going to the gym every single day, going to the gym even 3 times a week, it becomes extremely monotonous and extremely tedious and boring. There's not that much excitement about it anymore. You know the machines, you know the routine. It's not that fun anymore. And that is what leads to a lot of people falling off and dropping off, because it's boring. It's not fun anymore. So that is what the true threat to success is, boredom. So what do you need to do to combat this? Make things not boring. Make it a game. Make it fun. Make it attractive. This kind of goes back to the 4 laws we talked about earlier, but really making sure that things are no longer boring to you, that's what's really going to lead to your success. So remember that failure is not the threat here. The threat is boredom. The next lesson I have is just beautiful. It is that professionals stick to a schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. Now, I think we all have that one friend. We all have that person, or maybe you're that person. If you are, we gotta do better, but it's okay. But we all know one person that's always like, oh, something got in the way, oh, I can't go to the gym, I'm really tired, or I have a lot of homework, I have a lot of this, I have a lot of that. So they let these different minute things get in the way of the bigger picture. So because of that, they are not going to achieve true success, or at least not the levels that they've really set for themselves. But by sticking to a schedule, sticking to a routine, sticking to whatever it is that's going to make you better, that is what's going to set you apart from the rest, and that is what's going to make you achieve your fullest potential. Now, this next lesson kind of ties back to the boredom thing earlier, but anyone can feel motivated and go for small periods of time, but it's those that have really stuck through it that are really going to achieve real success in their life. Now, this is such an important thing to me because I just finished reading Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday, which is a great follow-up book for Atomic Habits. But essentially, by you staying consistent with the systems that you've set for yourself, trust me, babe, you are going to succeed so much more than you've ever thought you would. The next lesson that I have from this book is that many habits occur when you are at a fork in the road of productivity and unproductivity. When you really want to be unproductive, but you still do the habit, that's when real habits are formed. You know it's a real habit when you don't want to do it, but you still do it. Essentially, by you recognizing, okay, something's about to come up where I have to decide being productive or unproductive, and this something could literally just be you feeling tired, you feeling sleepy, or you feeling lazy or sluggish. But by recognizing this is about to happen, I need to be prepared and I need to keep moving forward. Trust me, this is what's going to set you up for success. By sticking with the habits and by keep going, staying consistent and disciplined with whatever habit you've set for yourself and the systems that you've set to achieve your goals, no one can talk to you like you are achieving the goals that you've set for yourself. And the last and final lesson that I have, lesson of reflection. You need to reflect on your habits. I kind of talk about this in my personal journey on how I stay organized and plan with my life, where I reflect on what I do and recognize, okay, this worked and this didn't work. So spend time and reflect on what works for you, reflect on what doesn't work for you, and make the alterations, kind of like one of the lessons that I talked about earlier. Make the change in your life so you can just skyrocket and improve without having to worry about imperfections and things of that sort. So yes, those are the 22 lessons that I've learned from Atomic Habits that I really wanted to just push back to you all, because trust me, this book is a phenomenal book. It is such a glorious book. It's one of the best books that I've ever read, and I really want to just push it back for you to read because trust me, it is such a good book. So I really want to push it back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe down below, kind of like I said earlier, and comment down what are some lessons that you've learned from the book, and also what are some books that you want to push to the family. What are some books that the family should read, all of us together, for us to improve ourselves. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Quartz Corner.